General, basic physics. What is the atmospheric pressure on a standard day at sea level? 14.7 psi, or 29.92 inches of mercury. What is kinetic energy? Energy in motion. What is the definition of a British thermal unit? The amount of heat required to change the temperature of 1 pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit. What are 3 methods of heat transfer? Conduction, convection, and radiation. What is the definition of friction? Opposition to the relative motion between 2 objects. What are the 2 factors involved in work? Force and movement through a distance. What does a basic lever machine consist of? A rigid bar free to pivot on or rotate about a pivot called the fulcrum. What call of lever is a wheelbarrow? A second-class lever. What is standard day temperature in degrees Fahrenheit? 59 degrees Fahrenheit. What factors determine density altitude? Pressure and temperature. What is the term used to describe the ratio of the amount of water vapor actually present in the atmosphere as compared to when the air is saturated with water vapor? Relative humidity. In what direction is pressure transmitted when force is applied to a confined fluid? Equality in all directions. How is pressure expressed in hydraulics and pneumatics? Pounds per square inch. What is the basic Pascal's law formula for computing force given pressure and area? Force equals pressure times the area. Are liquids compressible? Liquids are usually considered to be incompressible. What is the definition of matter? Any substance that occupies space, has mass, and is perceptible to the senses. What are 3 states of matter? Solids, liquids, and gases. What is the approximate speed of sound on a standard day at sea level? 761 miles per hour. What types of matter are affected by thermal expansion? Solids, liquids, and gases. What are the four principal forces acting on an airplane in flight? Lift, weight, thrust, and drag. What is the angle between the chord line of an airfoil and the direction of the relative wind called? Angle of attack. What causes an airplane wing to stall? A stall is caused by the separation of airflow across the top of the wing from the wing's upper surface. What function do wing-mounted vortex generators serve? Vortex generators serve to delay or keep the airflow from separating from the upper surface of the wind during high-speed flight. What effects do the lowering of flaps have on an airplane in flight? Increased lift, decreased stall speed, and increased drag. What change occurs in the airflow of air through the main rotor system of a helicopter when transitioning from normal powered flight to auto-rotation? It is reversed. In normal powered flight, air is drawn into the main rotor system from above and exhausted downward. During auto-rotation, airflow enters the rotor system from below as the helicopter descends. How does blade flapping help compensate for the symmetry of lift in helicopter main rotor systems? Blade flapping serves to increase the angle of attack on the retreating blade side of the rotor and decrease the angle of attack on the advancing blade side. What have physicists used in comparing the densities of all solids and liquids? Water. What is potential energy? Stored energy. What class lever is a seesaw? First class lever. Name at least two types of stresses that may act on an aircraft. Strain, torsion, bending, shear, tension, compression. What term is used to describe the rate of speed and direction? Velocity. What is the name of a tube that converges to a smaller diameter and then diverges back to its original diameter and can be used to demonstrate Bernoulli's principle? A venturi. When air or fluid pass through the middle section of a venturi, what pressure and velocity changes occur? The velocity increases and the pressure decreases. What is the term used to describe the ratio of speed of an aircraft to the speed of sound? Mach number. Describe directional stability. The aircraft's ability to not be adversely affected by a force around its vertical axis, creating a yaw-type motion. Describe longitudinal stability. The aircraft's ability to not be adversely affected by a force around its lateral axis, creating a pitching-type motion. Describe lateral stability. The aircraft's ability to not be adversely affected by a force around its longitudinal axis, creating a rolling-type motion. What is the characteristic of a wing design called that adds an upward lateral angle of a few degrees from horizontal? Dihedral. A wing design that incorporates a dihedral gives an aircraft what type of stability in flight? Lateral. What type of wind is parallel and opposite to the direction of flight? Relative wind. What is the name of the imaginary line that runs from the leading edge to the trailing edge of an airfoil? Chord line. What is the name of the angle between the chord line of a wing and the longitudinal axis? Angle of incidence. Name at least two forms of energy that can be converted into heat energy. Mechanical, electrical, chemical, radiant, nuclear, the sun. Name three temperature scales: Celsius, Fahrenheit, Kelvin, Rankine.